I love you. Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning and happy Sunday to you. I know a lot of you guys are probably hanging out in church. You're going to have to catch the stream or catch the replay. But good morning and happy Sunday. I hope you guys are excited about being an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. So you're cashing out into US dollar, but why though? And are you really cashing out? We'll talk about that. And Ripple speaks up on behalf of the XRP hodlers in the Ripple SEC lawsuit. Wow, that is something that, my friends, deserves a little something from our guy, Eagles. It really does deserve that. Really, I think. Don't you think it deserves that? I think it does. I think that it does. We'll have to play that. I think it's hugely important. Wow, that is some interesting stuff, guys. It really is some interesting stuff. I don't know. How cool is that? How cool is that? Let's do a little something to blockchain. Where is that at? There it is.
Blockchain monkeys, how are you, my friend?
What's going on, my brother, man?
It is great to see you, man.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's the OT up in the streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain. Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's the OT up in the streets, man.
Let's rock a ripple on that blockchain. Throw that on the ledger, pull that heat first.
We used to fight, and the Twitter beef, cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to YouTube University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We say about a straight.
Keep it walking. Respect your elders in these bushes. Bitcoin's talking.
And shout out to my blockchain niggas who came out of that safari to our beat chain. On and Jason Rockwood with it. You can give us the W, cause it's gorillas in this jungle.
Set them loose. They're rocking. Oh, they're feeling it. Oh, yeah, that's the aura, man. Liquidity. We got what you need. A love for crypto liquidity.
Blockchain. We talking about the intellectual choo-choo train. It's the OT up in the streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's the OT up in the streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. I'm talking mad research. And I make a head spin because it was CKK and it was D-A-I and it was always Kevin K with some T-M-I and mixing crypto. Harry, that's a lot of legendary. I was screaming to the mass and acting like they couldn't hear it. With a lot of raw cash and gem crypto.
How you living? Cause that's a V-Chain token vision. It's Papa Doc and Mikey O.
Uncle Sam, cause he took me on a lifeboat. She got a fatty, and she's a nurse. I'm here to put my rocket in her universe. Oh, this is freedom here. I'm talking Roger here. Antonopolis. That's what brought me here. Walking in this bitch like Jim Swartz. I'm an arson. So we're about it and we're right at the arson. Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train.
It's the LV up in the streets, man. Let's rock a ripple on that blockchain.
Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's the OT up in the streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain. How you living? we doomed. I beg to differ. Roses on the moon. How you living? That's how we do. I beg to differ. Roses on the moon.
Are you participating?
Are you participating? What is going on? Good people. How you guys doing this morning? Everybody good? Little Jungle Inc. There, at least an attempt at jungle. How you guys doing today? Everybody good? Kerry Washington? Who was that? Kerry Winfrey checked in first. Good to see you, Kerry. The market is doing what the market does, as we like to say. Kerry Winfrey, appreciate you checking in this morning. Big John is here. Someone's wrote something in Russian, says, hi, man. Yeah, I don't know if that's mom or not. John Edwards, what's going on, my friend? Master EZ checked in. How are you? 416 Crypto is in the building. Good to see you, 416 Crypto. Todd Gosto saying so. Yeah, that's not me. That's not me. I always question people who say that, Todd, that they're cashing out into USD, trying to get to understand why that might be. I'm going to talk about that a little bit and look into some possible other options, right? Some other options for me anyway, for sure. Cookie Munt, what's going on, Cookie Munt? Hey, Siege, one more night to go on the graveyard shift at Perry Maxi Jail, Auckland, New Zealand. One more night and like you're done with that, bro? You going off into crypto land? What's going on with that, Cookie Munt? DR says hello to everyone. How are you, DR? Appreciate you checking in. I haven't looked into APL yet. Someone asked about that. XRP number 1 is here. Hey, Siege and all. Good to see you. Digital Funkster checked in. Rishi John, who is singing that song? It is a dude called Eagle. The name of the song, Rishi John, is Blockchain Monkeys. BONKMONKEYZ. Blockchain. And another word is monkeys. Hey, Cindy Lou, how are you? Did anyone see SNL Saturday Night Live skit last night about NFTs and crypto? No, really? No, I didn't see that. That would have been interesting. Gallo says, I'm ready to buy more on these dips coming up. I hear that, my friend. I hear you. What's going on in Emoticon 3? What's good with you? I saw that XRP Crypto Wolf tweeted that the Bearable Bull is good. He's been doing stuff on Instagram. Michael P. I guess because he hasn't done any videos on YouTube for a while. You're welcome, Rishi. You are welcome. James at the water cooler, how are you, my friend? So, God, look, you know, this is an interesting thing here, and I think you just got to be real careful. Look, the dollar is what the dollar is, and I just think it's important to understand. You know, do what you will with your crypto gains, but it's just important to understand what's really going on with the dollar, right? You know, the increase, right, in currency, the increase, right, of the dollar, the expansion of the dollar, right? Like it's tripled, right? And so you got to understand that more money supply means the less spending power you have on your dollar. Now, if you're good with that, you're good with that, but don't think that it's some other thing to kind of get you away from cashing into the dollar. I mean, ultimately, the dollar is losing purchasing power. Now, if you're good with that, that's cool. And so here's the thing, guys, do me a favor, hit the likes on the way in. We got close to 100 people here, only 37 likes. It'd be really, really awesome if you guys could take the time and smash that like button. Let's let YouTube know to get this channel out to more of us. hanging out on YouTube, the average Joe and the average Jane that don't quite know what the digital asset space is all about and how it is, in fact, their shot at winning financially, right? Their shot, and that they can participate on a level playing field, that they can go buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and they can go buy XRP just like billionaires can, just like hedge fund managers can. XRP number one said, got some gold and silver. The time is right. Yeah, I hear you, my friend. I can't wait to get back into gold and silver, right? So just kind of understand that. I think if you understand that, and understand your other options, like when you have that fiat, what are you doing with it? Where, what are you going to do with it? Put it in an account? What financial instrument are you planning on using with that US dollar? The greater gains on the dollar is in the digital asset space, without question. Otherwise, you're just losing. Like you're losing at 15 to 20% a year, not 10%, 15, 20% a year on that. Alonzo Forbes checked in. What's good, my friend? Nice view, see. Thank you, Alonzo. It's good to see you this morning. Fashad Rahani, good morning to you, bro. I do like the coin ANKR. Rishi John says, do you like the coin ANKR? Any thoughts on it? Yeah. Yep. Like ANKR big time. We hodl some of that. So just understand that, right? I mean, like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing with that dollar? Where is that going, Todd? Like, what are you doing with that? Because if you're just holding that dollar in an account, you're losing. That's the other thing too. And I think it's a difference between being all in on cash and just playing the market cycles, right? I think there's a difference. Right? I think there's a difference, right? And so, when you talk about the digital asset during a bear market and you talk about the dollar during a bear market, just understand that during a bull market or a bear market, the dollar is still being inflated. It's still, the monetary expansion is still going on of that dollar, bear market or bull market, which means the spending power of the dollar, your dollar, is going down, right? Bear market, bull market, doesn't matter, right? And that's going to happen for a while. Like that's not going to happen anytime soon. Like they're not going to stop that anytime soon. Even if they do, it's still 15% or more in terms of your spending power down the drain, right? Think about that. They tripled the amount of extra money that they're putting in the marketplace. So it could go from 7% to maybe as high as 24%. That's not good for your dollar. It's not, what are you going to do with that dollar? Again, especially if there are other options. If you could take that dollar and put it into a crypto version and earn 10.5% on it, why would you not do that? Like, what does that look like? Right? Let me give you a number just to think about, and you have to do kind of your number. Right, let me take $1 million. Let's say your crypto gains during the alt season. Are you leaving now? Oh, okay. I didn't know you were leaving now. This crypto C's just leaving me. Like, let's just say your crypto gains gives you $1 million. 1 million. Bye, baby. Love you.
You want anything from this?
I don't know. My usual.
What's your usual?
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Well, you have snacks.
So I'm trying to figure this out. 1 million divided by 52. 19,000, is that a week?
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 1 million divided by 52 weeks is $19,000 a week. Like, what would you do if you were earning 10.5% on that $1 million? What would you do with that? 10.5% yearly. Let me see something. How do we get to 10,000?
10%.
Times 10%. That's $100,000 a year
Yes, it's 83 months.
in interest. $100,000 a year in interest. And then you divide that 100,000 by 12. That's $8,333 a month in interest. In interest. Which on the Celsius platform, you get paid out weekly. Like, where are you going to find that in the traditional market? Like, where are you going to find that? Kurt's son is in the building. Yeah, bro. With the family. Love it. Miss Crypto C's is going out. She's been on a fast for a cleanse for 2 weeks. So she finally gets to go shopping for some junk. Right? Where are you going to find that? Now, an option I would think is if you put $1 million on Celsius, you got $1 million in crypto on Celsius, right? You have $1 million. And if I'm thinking out loud, you put that into a stable coin that's earning 10%, right? Because look, the chances are that if it's in crypto and you got $1 million in crypto and the alt season is over, the value of the $1 million is going to start to go down, right? In the bear market, right? If XRP is $10 in the bear market, it'll soon be $7, and then it'll soon be $5, right? Because the alt seasons are going to, the alts are going to go down 60, 70, 80, some as high as 90%, right? Farshad Rouhani says, Kurt's son is a great friend. Oh, nice. Oh, thanks, Farshad. Thank you so much for the super sticker, my friend. I always appreciate you, my friend, supporting the channel. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Right? Chrissy Fouts, what's going on? The Fouts are in the building. 2,000 a week, right? And so 8,300 a month, 2,000 a week. I personally, I'm not telling you guys what to do. You know that, right? This is not financial advice in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but I would take the value of crypto, put it in the stable coin, earn 10.5 to 12.5%. Just for the thing that I think a lot of people are really, truly missing and not understanding is the extreme, listen to me, the extreme high demand for stable coins in the marketplace. It's massive. It's massive. And so anyway, I don't know, 10.5 to 12.5%, right? And I would personally, I would take that and put that into stablecoin, and for the first year or two, put it in a stablecoin and just take the interest out every month and live off that interest. Right? And so whatever lifestyle you got now, and you can add 10,000 a month to that lifestyle. What's your lifestyle not like now? And what would 10,000, not 10,000, what would $8,333 a month look like? What would an extra $2,000 a week look like for you in your life? That's what I would look at. Consider that. What does that look like? And would I just do taxes that way? I would just, me personally, I would just do taxes that way. Now we have a couple of cash flow businesses, right? So, you know, we take advantage of what the IRS says we can take advantage of, right? In terms of write-offs. But that's what I would do, right? That's what I would do. That's a option, right? The other option is borrowing against the crypto. That's another option, right? It's a different option, right? If you have $1 million in crypto, if you want a 1% loan, for example, you're going to get $250,000, right? 250,000. That's more than 100,000. You have to pay that back, but when you pay it back, right? When you pay it back, you still have it, right? Because you pay that back and they give you what you use as collateral back. So it's which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? You know, right now I'm leaning more towards just living off that interest. Right? Right now we're leaning towards, okay, we're going to take this asset, and this asset, and this asset, and this asset, a portion of those assets, come up with $100,000, come up with $500,000, come up with $1 million in stable coins and live off the interest. The great thing about living off the interest, to me, and being able to increase your lifestyle by adding an extra 1,000 a month, adding an extra 5,000 a month, adding an extra 8,000 a month, to me is that's all interest. So you still have that value. So you're living off the interest, which is cool. I don't know how interest stuff works in terms of taxes, because you're actually living off the interest. I don't know how that looks in terms of taxes. Maybe some of you guys might know, but you're living off the interest, right? So I don't know, you withdraw it. I don't know if that's going to count as income. I don't know what kind of write-off that would look like, but that seems reasonable. And you could do that, right? And then you're now able, and you're in a position to start buying some alts at 60, 70, 80, and 90% discount. And because you took advantage of this bull season, you're able to get more alts, in my opinion, than you would have prior to going into the bull run. So I think it's like a win-win overall. XRP number one says you would have to pay taxes on the interest, right? Pay taxes, right? And so again, one of the values of having a cash flow business is taking advantage of the write-offs. A home-based business especially, you get more write-offs that way. But just, I mean, that's something to think about. You know, I think if, you know, going into this season and wherever you are in your life, what would an extra 1,000 a month mean to you? What would an extra 5,000 a month mean to you? What would an extra 8,000 a month mean to you? If it's, especially since it's interest, you still got the value on your stable coin there, and you're just earning that interest. It's pretty compelling. Right? Yeah, and that's the other challenge too, right? If you do it in a stable coin, obviously, if you take the loan against your stable coins, you don't have to worry about the liquidation, John O, right? But if you do it against a particular crypto, you do have to risk that. And so, you know, the more and more me and Miss Crypto C's think about it, we're saying, no, let's take either a crypto and do that and go into USDT, or take a certain percentage of the cryptos, right? And whatever value we get to, whatever our goal is, if it's 100,000, right? We take 20,000 in value out of 5 of the cryptos and put that in the stable coins, right? So you don't have to cash out of all of your cryptos, but you can take 30, 40% of 5 cryptos, 50, 60% of 5 cryptos to get to that 100,000, right? And hopefully there are cryptos that are on Celsius, so you can still earn interest on the ones that you have left, right? You take that 100,000, now it's in stable coins, earning 10.5 to 15, 10.5 to 12.5%, somewhere along that line, right? Just in case. right? You never know what happens, right? We might think it's a bear market and it's just a little temporary break, right? You never know, right? You never know. So that's certainly going to be the strategy for sure. It's something to think about. Guys, we got over 215 people here. We're not even at 100 likes, guys. Please do me a favor. Take the time, collapse the chat, go smash that like if you didn't get a chance to do it on the way in. We have to let more of us know, the average Joe and the average Jane know about this digital asset space. Right? We got to let them know about this digital asset space. Because they don't know, this is their chance to win. We got to let them know. They're hanging out watching videos of TJ Millionaire Mentor, right? Or Q-tips, right? They're watching some old videos of Iron Mike Tyson when he was the dude, and they don't even know about the digital asset space. We got to let them know, and this is how we let them know, guys, by smashing the like button and getting this channel out to more people. So again, I don't know why you would cash out into the dollar. And again, when you say cash out, or does that, like for me, someone like Jim Jones, right? Successful, hugely successful billionaire, or Walton, not Walton. What is the guy? I can't even remember his name now. The famous investor. God, why I can't remember his name, right? Like they're all in cash and assets that are tied to cash. But if you go take a percentage of your crypto and go into the dollar, but you still hold digital assets, did you cash out into the dollar, or did you just play the market? Right? Did you just really play the market? Right? That's something to think about. But again, you know, I just think that it's important to understand that if you're taking dollars and going in your bank, understand the repercussions, right? The monetary expansion is the monetary expansion. It's not changing. It is what it is. It's not like some people are thinking about that the money supply is expanding. No, the money supply is expanding, which means the value of your dollar is decreasing. Your purchasing power of your dollar is decreasing. That's not like a theory or like a hypothesis or something to ponder, right? The monetary expansion is happening. They just tripled it. It's happening, which means it's simple supply and demand. If they keep increasing the supply of your dollar is worth less money. Just understand that, right? Just understand that. If you're good with that, then you're good with it, but just understand, right? A lot of people think, right? Like the Fed, right? They're buying assets, right? They're not they're adding assets to their balance sheets, not fiat. Right? You ever think about that? Well, Brandon lied. Thoughts on Celsius, Gemini Earn, and or Blockfolio. I like the Blockfolio app for tracking. I love Celsius. I am an ambassador for the Celsius network. So I love the Celsius network and what they offer to you and I, the average Joe and average Jane. I absolutely love that about Celsius. I really, really do. I think it is the platform for the average Joe and average Jane. I mean, so just understand that, right? Like for me, yeah. So if I have an asset that has value, and the value is assets that is $100,000, and I can take that $100,000 of value and put it into a stable coin and get paid interest on that, I'd much rather do that than just cashing out my asset into dollars. Like, I think right now the greatest assets that one can hold is digital assets, gold and silver. Like I don't see fiat as a thing that, right, is number one. I see fiat as like number 4. right? Right, like the Fed is not holding on to the dollar, and like they're going out and buying assets, what they believe to be assets, right? So yeah, they do, Brandon, and they're starting a new thing too called self-insurance, which is absolutely love. So you'll be covered on both ends, in the hot wallet and the cold wallet, which I think is massively important. And you get to opt in to do it. You can choose to participate on it or not. With the self-insurance, but what they're doing, what Celsius is doing, and their genius is giving you the opt-in to say you'll take a certain percentage of the assets that you have on the platform, and now you can put that towards whatever percentage you may have in the platform. So here's the best way to explain that. The reason why you put your assets on Celsius is Celsius pays you interest on the assets. That the way that Celsius pays interest on the assets, because they loan your assets out to institutions and market makers, right? And hedge funds, whatever, right? They loan it out. Now there's a certain amount of coverage for when it's loaned out, and there's no coverage currently when it's in the wallet, right? So these platforms, they can't make any money if they don't use your assets, if they don't loan them out. So the vast majority of your assets, the vast majority of time is being loaned out, which means there is little to no insurance on that, depending on who you're dealing with, right? Any type of insurance that anyone's saying that they have is when your assets are not being loaned out. Well, if the platform that you're using only makes money by loaning your assets out, how much of your assets and how often do you think your assets are just hanging out on the platform? The answer is little to none. So the vast majority of the time your assets are out, and there's no kind of insurance there. So this insurance thing is a little on the misleading side, right? So you want to have some protection for both being out and being in. And that's what Celsius is providing. And I like the option of you can opt in to do it, or you can opt not to do it. What's going on, Rita? BCT Traveler, good to see you. Crypto Fitter is here, good morning. So that's kind of the option, right? And I like that. So it's insurance. You kind of get the insurance both ways, and I do like that. I do like that, especially when you consider that the vast majority of the time it's being loaned out. You want some insurance there, right? Yeah, and so it's great to have security. It's the number one thing on the platform. Insurance is cool, but that's cool, but you want security. Like security is the numero uno. It has to be. Numero uno is security. So I've been really, really happy. Celsius has never been hacked, and there's no fees to withdraw a deposit. I mean, it's a great platform, I believe, for the average Joe and the average Jane. But here's the thing, guys. Again, the dollar. Just think about that. When you're looking to do something with your assets, and ponder some other options for you. I'm surprised at the amount of people in crypto that don't understand Celsius and the Celsius network and what it offers them. I'm really, really shocked. The vast majority. Where else can you, and I'm just throwing occupations out there, where else can you, the bank teller, where else can you, the truck driver, where else can you, the plumber, where else can you, the security guard, get a 1% loan based upon the assets that you have and have acquired? Where else can you earn interest on your assets that you hold as high as 16%? Where else can that happen for you, the average Joe and average Jane? Where else can that happen? It's a little on the alarming side that people just don't understand it. The Celsius platform, and they don't know. It's alarming. right? But these are the Celsius network is a great example of the options made available to the 1% of the 1%. And they took that and they put it into crypto for everyone to have access to. The 1% of the 1% get 1% loans, they get 0% loans. They get interest on their assets, right? They get next level treatment, right? And what Celsius and Alice Mashinsky has done is taken that kind of treatment, that kind of tools to increase their wealth, and they brought it into crypto and they made it accessible to everyone. Everyone. Someone who has $10 million on Celsius, they don't earn more on their Bitcoin than I earn on my Bitcoin. Someone who has $30 million on Celsius, they don't earn more on their Ethereum than I do on my Ethereum. Out in the traditional space, that's another thing, right? The 1% of the 1% get a different rate, and you get one rate, and you get a different rate. That is the truth, my friends. And so, talking about a level playing field, that's what they do. Well, Gordon Kelly, what's going on, Gordon? How do you cash out your interest? Do you have to send it to an exchange to cash out? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And so you would take the interest in your stablecoin, for example. You can take it to Coinbase Pro, and then you sell the USDC or USDT into US dollar, and then you deposit that dollar into your bank account that you have attached to, example, something like Coinbase Pro. I don't know if Rita asked, do you believe XRP has anything to do with the New World Order? I don't know. Right. And so the challenge really is, look, there's going to be an alt season. There's going to be an opportunity to change the level of your lifestyle, whatever that looks like. And I think it's important for people to understand that in the bull market, there are, you got the actual price of what your crypto is, the actual price, right? You got a price that you hope it gets to, and you have a correction. That's all you got to work with. You don't have anything else to work with. And which one of those can you make a reality? Which one of those do you have the most control over? How much control do you have over the correction? Right? How much control you got over that? How much control do you have on the price that you hope that the digital asset is going to get to? You have to answer that for yourself. How much control you think you got over that? Now, how much control do you have on the actual price of the asset? Like, what can you do with that actual price? What can you do with XRP at $3 when it's $3? What can you do when you're waiting for XRP to get to $5? What can you do? How can you level your lifestyle up while you're waiting for it to get to $5? What can you do on the correction? Like, can you change the correction from 60% and make it 30%? How much control you got over that, right? Those are things that, I would encourage you to consider. And the other thing is, most likely, historically, after every bull market, there's been a bear market. And if you didn't hit your hope price for your digital asset, and now you're in a bear market and you didn't take advantage of the actual price, how did you level up your lifestyle? And if you're cool with waiting, Are you cool with the potential bear market that could last for years? Now, if you're prepared and you're mentally prepared for that, and you're good with that, and you're okay with going through a bear market 3 months or 3 years, then cool. I bought Charlie's bag, checked in. What's good with you? I bought Charlie's bag. It's good to see you. Bernard Septimos, XRP New World earlier, huh? Lawrence Taylor's here. Charmaine checked in. How are you, Charmaine? So again, that's something important to think about. You know, give it some thought. See if it makes sense to you. For me, it does not make sense for me to cash out a more valuable asset into a less valuable asset. Toby, Toby is here. I might mess your name up. Uchiha. I'm a new subscriber. Well, thank you. Welcome to the channel, Toby. Appreciate you being here, guys. Welcome, Toby, to the channel. Do you believe the SEC had any influence on the current XRP price? Asked Toby. Yeah, I do. I believe the lawsuit had something to do, if that's what you mean. If that's what you mean. Guys, so enough on that. Now, let's go over this next thing. That Ripple speaks up on behalf of the XRP hodlers. That, my friends, is something that I have to share with you guys. That is very, very interesting. Let's see here. That's very, very interesting. MB, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Guys, we got over 200 people here. Can we get to 200 likes? That would be outstanding if we can get to that. I'm not, I'm not cashing out into the US dollar. Now, I'll take the value of my assets and put it into stable coins and live off that interest for sure. So Ripple's response to essentially, we all know that John Deaton filed the motion to intervene on behalf of XRP hodlers. The SEC, they filed something to oppose it, and then Ripple responds to defend it. Check this out. Dear Judge Torres, did I share? I didn't share yet. Let's share. There we go. There we go. There we go. Dear Judge Torres, we write on behalf of the defendants of Ripple Labs, Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson, pursuant to the part and all that stuff. 6 named individuals seek to intervene in order to protect the interests of a putative class of thousands of holders of XRP, in parentheses, interveners. All right, the defendants, as this court is aware, the defendants, as this court is aware, are a privately held company that is a pioneer in using blockchain technology to facilitate cross-border payments instantly and more cheaply than incumbent methods and the company's current and former CEOs. Incumbent, I love that. Defendants do not represent the interests of interveners as holders of XRP, a digital currency that transacts on the decentralized XRP ledger, which operates independently of Ripple, in parentheses. However, interveners are correct that the SEC's amended complaint fails to explain whether the SEC has alleged and will seek to establish in this litigation that XRP is an investment contract per se, and thus a security per se, or instead that defendants' sales of XRP resulted in an investment contract based on the circumstances of those sales. Oh my God, John Deaton. I don't know if you guys know the treasurer that is John E. Deaton and what he's doing. Ripple wouldn't respond to this. if it didn't have some weight. If they wouldn't respond in kind, if it didn't have some weight to it, like they would just ignore it. They wouldn't respond to this motion to intervene on the behalf of XRP holders if it didn't have some weight, right? A way for them to add weight to their case. They wouldn't do it. Given this ambiguity in the potential precedential impact of this litigation on non-parties, defendants agree that interveners should be permitted to proceed with their motion to clarify this point. Are you kidding me? Given this ambiguity and the potential precedential impact of this litigation on non-parties, defendants agree, that would be Brad and Chris and the boys, agree that interveners should be permitted to proceed with their motion to clarify this point. The SEC's allegations have seriously harmed XRP holders. The concerns raised by interveners about the lack of clarity in the SEC's theory of its case are well founded. For more than 8 years, the SEC was content to allow XRP and its associated technologies to evolve from a promising digital asset with superior functionality into the third largest digital currency in the world. During this time, market participants, including interveners, reasonably believed that XRP was a digital asset falling outside of the regulatory authority of the SEC. Also during this time, the SEC was content to allow hundreds of companies independent of Ripple, to develop products and use cases leveraging XRP or its underlying technology, the XRP ledger. As a result, XRP is estimated to be held today by millions of holders worldwide, with approximately 700 billion to 1 trillion in total trading volume since 2013. Pretty cool. The SEC included in this complaint conclusory allegations suggesting XRP is always a security and therefore that every offer, sale, or transaction involving XRP is subject to the panoply of regulatory requirements mandated by the federal securities law. First AM, so I don't know what that means. Due to the resulting market uncertainty, XRP has been delisted or traded halting by nearly every digital asset exchange in the US and by numerous other exchanges throughout the world. The filing of the SEC's complaint resulted in the value of circulating XRP declining by more than $15 billion and the disruption of numerous innovative applications of XRP based only on unproven allegations. The SEC has effectively shut down trading by XRP holders over exchanges in the United States. And it has done so on the basis of a complaint whose theory of liability is ambiguous at best and at worst deliberately misleading so as to arrogate for the SEC optionality as this litigation progresses. This is some really powerful stuff, guys. I got to tell you, the interveners highlighted on the ambiguity in the SEC's complaint and filed suit in Rhode Island, asking the SEC to amend this complaint against Ripple to exclude present-day XRP purchased by investors with no connection to Ripple or its executives. The SEC refused to do so. Interveners voluntarily dismissed their suit in Rhode Island and now seek relief here. Judge Netburn recently, Judge Netburn rightly identified this same ambiguity and asked the SEC whether its position, in this case is that every individual in the world who is selling XRP is committing a Section 5 violation. The SEC did not dispute the premise of her question, responding ambiguously that speaking very generally, non-party XRP transactions would likely be exempt under Section 4 by invoking the Section 4 exemption, which only applies to a security subject to registration under Section 5. The SEC essentially confirmed that regardless of the seller or circumstances of the sale, XRP is, in its view, per se, an investment contract and therefore a security. That premise, if accepted, would empower the SEC to regulate vast numbers of non-parties, including digital asset exchanges, vendors, and retail holders. This directly threatens the interests of interveners whose ability to transact in XRP could be impaired, even though there is nothing about their conduct that could plausibly make XRP an investment contract and thus a security in the context of this litigation. Guys, that is a powerful, powerful response. And you see how they use this motion from John Deaton to further their case, to strengthen their case, if you will. It's genius without question. But again, they would not do it if it didn't hold merit. They just wouldn't. Guys, they wouldn't do it if it didn't hold merit. If there wasn't merit and strong merit, if you will, to it, they ripple. And the law team there would not do it. What's going on, Jackie 33? Good to see you. Richard France is here, right? Yeah, that's right. That's gamer for life, man. That's a powerful statement, man. Before December, I cashed out other assets and went all in on XRP, as it would have mooned if not for the SEC's action. However, if I had kept the others, I'd be a millionaire already. Yep. Sorry to hear that, brother. I mean, that is right. This is what John E. Deaton is trying to point out to the Honorable George Torres and the courts, right? The things like this, right? They happened because, we expected XRP to be able to perform freely, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and other digital assets, and the SEC in a lot of ways has harmed that, which is really, really crazy. So guys, yeah, I encourage you guys, let me put this link in here for you guys. If you like to read this for yourself. It's very, very, very powerful. It really, really is. It really, really is. Michael Hayes, what's going on? Did you have a question, my friend? Did I miss a question you had? Well, it's the cheapest and fastest digital asset. It bridges other currency. It can take one fiat or any asset and turn it into another asset, and they can do it in 3 or 4 seconds. It's a pretty powerful thing. It's on an immutable ledger, right? That has never been hacked. That has done, I don't know how many hundreds of millions in total transactions, if not a billion. Right? So Luke Stenson, Vito, you liking Vito? Vito's been doing his thing for sure. Right, so that's kind of where we are. I'm not cashing out, B Russ. I was making a point. B Russ, and it's good to see you, brother. So you're cashing out. Does that mean you're selling your XRP or you're buying more? Yeah. So I'm not cashing out. I was making a point in that title, right? And so I don't believe in taking my asset, a valuable asset like Bitcoin, and putting it into the dollar, right? I'd rather put it in a stable coin, earn interest on that stable coin, and use the interest, live off the interest of that asset. So I still have that asset. So I'm not cashing out in the US dollar. For me, it doesn't make sense because I understand the monetary expansion, the money supply is expanding, right? And so, which means my purchasing power of the dollar is just less. And the least amount of time that I have to operate in the traditional world in terms of finance, the better off I am. So I'm going to stay in crypto and crypto products for as much as I possibly can, right? Because I think the asset, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Stellar Lumens, Cardano, Polygon, ANKR, Anchor, ETH, Gold, I think those are more valuable assets than the US dollar. More valuable, right? I think they're more valuable. And even though they may, I may lose 60, 70, 80% in the bear market, right? I still hold the asset. And the asset is still going to be powerful and it's still going to outperform the dollar over the long term. That's the bottom line. It's going to outperform it over the long term. So in terms of financial instruments or things attached to the dollar, I try to be as far off from that as humanly possible, right? So gold, silver, absolutely. And if I do want to do something with real estate, understand that I'm going to leverage the value of my asset, of my cryptos to do so. Shout out to Dublin, Ireland. Hey, Michelle McCormick, good to see you all the way from Dublin, Ireland. Appreciate you checking in this morning. It's great to have another lady of crypto checking in. Right? So that is the difference. Thomas Conservative, thank you, my friend. I appreciate the super chat. That's right. The Biden administration is trying to spend money like drunken sailors, says Thomas Conservative. You'll lose more value as the dollar than having it in crypto. I agree. I think that it doesn't make sense to be 100% out of crypto or an asset and into the dollar. For me, that doesn't make sense. Again, you guys certainly have to make your own decisions. But to me, that doesn't make sense. The value of the dollar, as long as they're doing this monetary expansion, is going to go backwards. That's ultimately the bottom line. It's going backwards. Now, will I leverage my asset and get dollars? Yes. But liquidating my asset to get dollars, no shot. No shot. No shot in doing that. I leverage my assets. I take advantage of a sound saving instrument like the Celsius network. I take advantage of a sound saving instrument like cash value dividend paying whole life insurance policy structured properly with death benefits. I take advantage of that, and I take advantage of the Celsius network. Those are the two instruments that I would use, that we are using, right? That's what I would do. But there is no way I'm taking my Bitcoin, taking the value of that Bitcoin, having zero Bitcoin left to get dollars, like zero chance. Zero chance of that. Like, why? Like, what are you doing with that dollar? Why? Like, what are you doing with it? At the least, I'm taking the value of my Bitcoin. I'm taking a certain percentage that and I'm putting it in a stable coin, and I'm going to earn 10.5 to 12.5% in interest, and I'll take that interest and put it into my account, into my bank account, so that I hold my asset, the more valuable asset. It's not the dollar. Like, if you understand monetary expansion, if you understand where the dollar comes from, a central bank, and you understand their monetary policy, do you understand that your dollar is losing its purchasing power? And you got to try to keep up with it. Inflation's not 5%, 7%. Inflation is in 20 to 25%. You got to understand the monetary supply. That's why the Fed is not holding on to their dollars. They're buying assets. And in my opinion, the digital asset space, in my opinion, is the most valuable asset class. Is gold valuable? Absolutely. Is silver valuable? Absolutely. Is real estate valuable? Absolutely. Cash flow real estate is valuable. Cash flow real estate is valuable. Absolutely. The dollar is after that, in my opinion. The dollar is after those three, in my opinion. Right? You got to kind of do some homework. You gotta, listen to some people who understand the monetary policy. Once you get that, once you listen to people who understand the monetary policy, like there's a reason why billionaires say cash is trash. Like there's a reason for that, right? And there's a reason why, very, very smart people say gold, silver, and Bitcoin. There's a reason that they say that. You got to just understand what it is. And it starts with, where does the fiat dollar come from, and understanding that monetary policy. Once you get that, you're good, right? Highly recommend you read The Bitcoin Standard by Safieddine Amos. Highly recommend you read The Creature from Jekyll Island. Highly recommend you read that. Highly recommend you grab Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Highly recommend. Oh, Jackie33, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this super chat, my friend. I appreciate you as always. Dinner for you and Mrs. C's. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much, Jackie33. I appreciate that. Right, so that's the thing to think about. I think, guys, don't kid yourself. The Republicans did the same with that's exactly right. It's the government, right? The government is not. Politicians are not going to do something different than the other politician. If it's different, it's like plus or minus 1%, right? It's greater than or less than 1 or equal to 1%. It's like, or it's less than or equal to 1%. The difference is between the two. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. The dollar is the dollar. If you're dealing with the dollar, it doesn't matter, because the monetary policy around the dollar is a sham. It is a sham. Until they change that monetary policy around the dollar, until they get this whole infinite supply thing, is not going to work. This whole, the central entity trying to determine the market instead of letting the market do what the market does, until they change that, until they get away from the, this MMT and this Keynesian theory, until they understand true Austrian economics, is not going to change. The dollar, fiat dollar, is going to be a fiat dollar. And for me, I want non-correlated assets, not correlated to the dollar. I want non-correlated assets, gold, silver, and the digital asset space, right? Now, is it every asset in the digital asset space? Is it every crypto? No. Is it every precious metal? Does every precious metal have the same value and use case that gold and silver does? No. Well, in the digital asset space, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? So there it is, guys. I just wanted to give you some food for thought. I hope it makes sense to you. I hope it makes sense to you. So there is no theory. There's no conspiracy theory around the dollar. The dollar is the dollar. The monetary expansion of the dollar, the monetary expansion of the supply of the dollar is not fake. It's not some people coming together to make you think that the dollar is not good. It's what's happening with the dollar. It's what the central banks of the world are doing with the monetary supply. It's not a theory. They're doing it, which means that your dollar has less spending power. Period. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't change anything. That's what it is. So again, the principles for creating generational wealth, my humble opinion for this channel, generational wealth equals the acquiring of digital assets plus sound saving instruments like a cash value, dividend paying, whole life insurance policy structured properly for cash value that has death benefit attached to it, plus the Celsius network. plus the Celsius network, multiplied by a cash flow business. Why a cash flow business? Because you have, that's out of the whole parts of that formula, the cash flow is the one you have the most control over. If you have a cash flow business, or you're the owner and operator, CEO of, you can go out into the marketplace and determine, based upon your efforts, how much money comes in. You can't do that with Celsius. You can't determine the rate on the Celsius platform. You can't determine the cash value or the dividends you make on the cash value. You're not in control of that. Are they great? 1000% great, but you have no control. You have less control over those than you do over cash flow business. That's why I call it the multiplier. Abhishek Paramar, did you ask me a question, my friend? I can't give you financial advice on whether you should sell or not sell your XRP, my friend. I wish that I can't do that, and I wouldn't begin to do that. I can tell you in my journey in the digital asset space, my journey with my digital assets is I can never hold enough of XRP. I can never hold enough of the greatest digital asset ever created. Will I leverage the actual price of XRP when the time comes? Absolutely. But I'll be leveraging that into a stable coin. I'll be leveraging that, right? Selling that into a stable coin and taking that stable coin and putting it on the Celsius platform and earning 10.5 to 12.5% when my price is hit. Yeah. So, and I have a strategy to own more, to own just as much XRP, if not more, than I had going into the alt season and after I sell into USDT. But you got to have a strategy for that, right? You got to have a strategy for that. I hope it makes sense. Great place to learn strategy is bcbacker.com. Great tips for a strategy, good foundational strategy. Thank you, Michelle. Great foundational strategy. You got to have a strategy. You don't want to go into this alt season willy-nilly, right? Just flying by the seat of your pants. It's not going to work good for you. What's going on, Corey Anderson? Good to see you. So there it is, guys. Some stuff to consider. Guys, we're almost at 200 likes. That'd be awesome if we can get to 200. We're almost there at 184 likes. That would be really, really cool if you guys could take the time. If you're enjoying the hangout, if you enjoyed the hangout, take the time to collapse the chat and smash the like, guys. So listen, I'm going to end this stream like I do all of my streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.